Hello. Once again I come before you as a representative of the Illuminati. You may call me the Man. You know, since 2012 began, I have referenced an upcoming event in just about every single video that we've produced. I mentioned it in the Super Bowl video, the Celebrity Deaths video, the Georgia Guidestones video. It's the Annunaki audit, and in those videos I promised that I would make a separate video and explain what exactly I meant by that. So here we are. Now I'm going to warn you ahead of time, this is going to be a pretty fact-heavy kind of video, so I have to explain to all those people out there who don't know who the Annunaki are exactly what's going on and why they're doing what they're doing. So bear with me, okay? Here we go. The Annunaki are a race of very long-lived, very powerful alien beings. Now the Sumerians, who encountered them, several thousand years ago, called them gods, and they in fact are not gods. They're just very powerful aliens. It's understandable, these primitive people would think them gods and such, but that's what they are. They developed much like we did, except about 1 billion years ago, and created faster than light travel between the stars. The technology they have not yet shared with us. So anyway, once they did that, they decided that they would go throughout the universe and find little pockets of life and kind of help it develop. Or where they had found life had stagnated into the same forms over and over again, they would cause its extinction in the hopes that something else would develop after that. They visited Earth about 65 million years ago and ended the reign of the dinosaurs. Because, they said, the dinosaurs had about 85 million years to do something with themselves, and they just kept doing the same thing. So it was time for someone else to have a shot at it. Well, here we are. And, there's a lot of information on the internet about the Annunaki and a lot of theories, and one of them is that the Annunaki actually helped develop mankind into what he is today. That they found our hominid ancestors and they spliced in some of their DNA, and created Homo sapiens. And that's just not true. That's more of an Arthur C. Clarke, 2001 kind of thing, where the big black slab, finds the primitive cavemen and turns them into thinking human beings and stuff like that. Now, that's more Hollywood than actually what happened. What happened was about 5,000 years ago, they came back by the planet and they seeded civilization amongst the humans that were living there. They seeded the Egyptian civilization, the Sumerian, and of course, the Mayan civilization. Now, I'm sure you've heard about the Mayan calendar. It's 2012, and that's when the calendar runs out. So people are afraid that time is going to, run out for humanity. And that's not exactly what that calendar is all about. You see, we in the Illuminati knew that the calendar was actually a countdown to the Annunaki audit. Our founder, about 300 years ago, discovered in a Sumerian library lots of documents that the Annunaki had left behind, and was able to translate them and find out exactly what their plans were for mankind. He knew, for instance, that they would be coming back this year, and that they would be auditing mankind and how we had developed. And he also found out a lot of other information, like how species do develop, and how advanced species seem to interact with each other. The Annunaki are very smart. They came up with a lot of algorithms, having seen civilization after civilization over the last 1 billion years or so develop. And so he used that knowledge and created an organization that took over the world secretly. And then we use that knowledge to create our really big computer, which we use to vet our ideas through and see how the populations will receive some of the things that we're coming up with. It's worked really well so far because those guys are really smart. So when I tell you that it's time to start being nice to your neighbor, it's because those guys are going to be here in late April. I mean, they're going to show up and they're going to be looking at us and wondering if we have developed along the ways that they thought we should. And if we haven't, yeah, it could be a problem. Those guys are very powerful, Bye-bye dinosaurs. So we're not sticking our nose into your business because we like it. We're doing it because we want the species to keep breathing past December 21st, when the audit is complete. So I want you to know that, when I come here and I say, be kind to your neighbor and stuff. I really mean it. And when I tell you about the chemtrails, it's because we have a very limited amount of time to get our acts together, to stop, you know, hating on each other and treat each other nicely. They're going to be here in late April. And what? Oh, great. They're here. They've set up their base on the other side of the moon in the place that we discovered back in the 1960s. Great, the transmissions are coming out of that. Well, there's no need to panic right now. I mean, I'm sure they've seen our broadcast TV as they were coming in. You know, they probably think of us as like, you know, Gilligan's Island. You know, that was a good show, and Gunsmoke was good. And Star Trek, you know, nothing wrong with that. So as long as they think of us like that, we should be okay, right? I mean, they're looking at the broadcast stuff. We should be okay. I mean, if they found the internet, that would be... They just found the internet. Great. Well, still no reason to panic. There's a lot of good stuff on the internet. There's a lot of information, a lot of sharing of ideas, and that kind of thing. A lot of games. Hopefully they're into games. That'll distract them for a while. I mean, as long as they don't find the parts of the internet that are, you know, subject to a lot of anonymous hate and trolling, you know, like YouTube or something, we should... They found YouTube. We're doomed. Alright, that's great. It's... Well, you know, they say it's not over till it's over, so maybe... Listen, when you see your neighbor tomorrow, I'm begging you, be nice. I mean, these things are written down. Don't lie, steal, cheat, kill. Yeah, we've got... Oh man, they're here. We're out of time. Breathe deeply the chemtrails that are in the sky. Relax. Be nice. I have work to do, and I can't... I've got to go and see if... I'll see you next week, okay? Yeah, I'll see you next week.